Assalamualaikum and salam sejahtera everyone. I'm Rafidah binti Abbas, presenting our topic today, Determinant of Islamic Tourism Stakeholders, Incomprehension about Islamic Muamalat. So this is our presentation outlines. And for the introduction, this is basically the introduction about halal ecosystem, in which the worldwide halal market value is projected to reach USD 5 trillion by the year 2030, and by the same year, Malaysia also expect that our halal market could contribute to 113.2 billion USD. And since Islamic tourism is the halal subsector, the industry is projected to contribute to 225 billion from 230 million arrivals for the worldwide market by the year 2028. Okay, as I mentioned, despite the positive values, Islamic tourism and halal industry remain in underrated research areas due to all these reasons, which includes unclear and debatable concepts and terminologies, stakeholders' misunderstanding and compliance to Sharia law, confusion about Islamic tourism concept, and on top of that, studies in Muamalat in Malaysia focus primarily on banking, financial institution and zakat only. So taking those things into consideration, we find that research in Islamic tourism muamalat is urgently needed to help those in Islamic tourism sphere to fully comprehend and maximize Islamic tourism's full potential. With that, we came with our objectives, which are to uncover the determinant of Islamic tourism, stakeholders in comprehension about Islamic muamalat, as well as the effect of the incomprehension towards Islamic tourism growth. Taking those things into consideration, we find that research in Islamic tourism muamalat is urgently needed to help those in Islamic tourism sphere to fully comprehend and maximize Islamic tourism's full potential. With that, we came with our objectives, which are to uncover the determinant of Islamic tourism, stakeholders in comprehension about Islamic muamalat, as well as the effect of the incomprehension towards Islamic tourism growth. So for the LR, JAKIM defined muamalat as mutual agreement between two or more parties through voluntary exchange of ownership in daily transaction, which includes contract formation, commitments, as well as the tasarruf of possessions. And we understand that in Sharia is classified into two broad categories, which include fiqh ibadat and fiqh muamalat. So jurists or fuqaha relies on these four major sources, namely Al-Quran, Hadith, Ijma and Qiyas, in extracting legal rulings or ahkam in the Sharia. And under fiqh muamalat theory, there are three main elements, namely the three main elements that each party needs to comply with, of which the first one include the transaction should have no gharar element, and the transaction should be free of riba, as well as no gambling or maisir element, including lucky draw. Okay, so for Islamic tourism, it refers to the provision or pursuit of tourism-related business in both supply and demand activities within the Islamic framework. Okay? And as I mentioned earlier, worldwide Islamic tourism is still struggling with an ununified concept, inconsistency in terminologies, including Muslim-friendly tourism. Yeah? And at least in Malaysia, only the Sharia-compliant hotels or the Sharia-compliant concept proven to fulfill the Islamic operative concept. And in Malaysia, Islamic tourism stakeholders needs to comply with all these standardized guidelines and operating procedures. Okay, in measuring understanding, we measures understanding based on two factors or two elements, namely internal forces and external forces. For the internal forces, it is measured by demographic characteristics like religion, age and educational background. And business orientation, on the other hand, is measured by four elements, namely production, product, marketing and sales orientation. So, and whereas for the external causes, it refers to the factors beyond one's control. They are basically the outside factors. Okay? So this include government policy as well as business opportunities. So for our methodology, we actually conducted secondary research and employing content analysis approach. So for result and discussion, we found that both internal and external factors correspond to one another, thus contributing significantly to the misunderstanding about Islamic Muamalat. And these actually correspond with Tan Sri Khalid bin Ramli's statement that only 20% of Islamic tourism operators in Malaysia are Muslim. And even though stakeholders comprises of all the government, agencies, investors, business operators and customers, so we noticed that in Malaysia, basically even the workforce in Islamic tourism are mostly Muslim, and they are the millennials. And yet a lot of Muslim in Malaysia has limited knowledge about Islamic jurisprudence or Islamic law. Okay, a simple example include we couldn't distinguish between Sertu and Sama. And other than that, we also found that the Muslim-friendly service term use is contradicted with Islamic Muamalat concept. This is evident with the ITC Muslim-friendly directory, in which the hotels are classified into 3 broad categories based on their partial to full compliance to the Sharia requirement. And on top of that, the MFA certified, so this is the MFA certified hotels or hospitality accommodations given to the hotel or accommodation sectors which comply with the criteria under which at least one dining facilities or F&B outlets must be halal certified by JAKIM. So there is a loophole or problem for hotels or premises with more than 2 dining facilities or F&B outlets, but only one is halal certified. Okay, because it may result to cross-contamination through mixing equipments or kitchen apparatus, hence violated the halal definition prescribed under the Trade Description Act 2011 and MS Malaysian Standard 1500/2009. Okay, although in Islam, we under fiqh we also have the taharah, which is purification. Islam provide the alternative solution to purify najis mughallazah through Sertu method and animal extraction of the skin through Sama method. However, simple example in Sertu, there are 3 main elements that needs to be complied. The first one is that the process must be performed by a sound Muslim, and the entire process should be monitored and endorsed by the state religious department. Okay? So this is basically under fatwa muzakarah kebangsaan. And however, this takes integrity of the affected hotels or business premises to report such incident to the authority, as well as time and money to perform the procedure, because we understand that in business, time is money. Okay? And on top of that, we also found that the MFA certification as well as the international level crescent rating accreditation, this is basically part of marketing gimmick used by some organization to promote their, to strengthen their branding. However, these marketing gimmicks may backfire Islamic tourism sector in the long run due to the problem that I mentioned earlier. And other than that, we also found that lack understanding about Islamic Muamalat clearly demonstrate lack understanding about Islamic tourism. And we also found that the fiqh Muamalat theory would adversely affect the Islamic tourism sector growth, because stakeholders find it hard for them to fathom the concept into practice. Yeah? And it is very common for business operators that embarking into Islamic tourism business may not generate a handsome return on investment as opposed to the conventional tourism activities. This therefore hinders the operator's confidence to join the market, because we need to understand that when the main motive for business profit for business is profit oriented. Okay, however, we found that this actually has a positive impact in which it helps to ensure the sanctity of Islamic tourism, because only those who are ready to commit and comply with the Islamic law or the Shara should be in the system. Okay. On top of that, we also found one online travel article which features a restaurant serving alcoholic beverages as best 7 Muslim friendly and halal romantic restaurants in Kuala Lumpur. I mean, despite warning, so this online travel agency or this online travel article still features this restaurant. Okay, this could cause confusion to the Muslim and those who are not well versed in Islamic law, hence demonstrating lack of understanding about Islamic Muamalat or the Islamic tourism concept. Okay, and the third element of fiqh Muamalat theory, which is there should be no maisir or gambling element, including lucky draw. So basically, we found that this maisir element is often overlooked even among Muslim organizations, because it is very common nowadays for business entities to use contests and lucky draw as their promotional mix. Yeah? This is because the Fatwa Muzakarah Kebangsaan has ruled out that contests as well as lucky draw in which the winner is based on the fastest and accurate answer is considered as non-Sharia compliant. Okay, on top of that, we also found that in Malaysia we still practice the liberalism approach even in all sectors, including tourism development. Therefore, we found that this liberalism approach could result to misunderstanding about Islamic tourism, okay? And violate all the three fiqh muamalat theory just now. This also holds true because Halal Development Corporation Berhad acknowledge that increased awareness on halal products and new economic opportunities normally present greater challenges to the stakeholders in the halal industry. So there could be positive and negative aspect. But we need to be mindful about the negative challenges so that we can troubleshoot the problem. Okay, as for conclusion, it is vital for all tourism stakeholders to understand about Islamic Muamalat to ensure the growth and sustainability of Islamic tourism. And for the research implication, we found that there should be a sound standardized guideline. By right, there are all the standardized guidelines just now are basically sound, but there is like enforcement. So we feel that there should be enforcement so that it helps to maintain the credibility and quality of Islamic tourism products and services. Secondly, the government needs to exercise control in halal industry, particularly the Islamic tourism sector, so as to eliminate deception and to safeguard all the stakeholders, not only customers. Okay? And thirdly, integrity and continuous effort must be made to educate Islamic tourism stakeholders and the public about the importance of Islamic Muamalat to uphold the Maqasid Sharia. And the last one, we feel that we need to have a strong local database with the assistance of new technology like AI to boost the stakeholders' confidence in the industry, because nowadays, all this while, we rely a lot on international statistics, especially on Crescent rating. Yeah? And suggestion for future research, We would like to suggest future researchers to look into similar areas using quantitative approach. Okay? And on top of that, as I mentioned earlier, in order for us to have this local database, future researchers can collaborate with technologies as well as those are good in statistics to conduct research on the value of Islamic tourism both objectively and subjectively using new technology like artificial intelligence. With that, I thank you and Assalamu alaikum.